As part of the demo, we will build a Node.js application and deploy that to ECS cluster. So in terms of resource provisioning, we will be provisioning a VPC, and then we will be provisioning a ECS cluster with 2 containers in it. So let's head over to Visual Studio Code and start building the application. As you can see, this particular solution contains 2 folders, the backend API folder and the backend API CDK folder. If you look at the backend API folder, you will have few files in it. So basically this contains all the Node.js application related code. If you look at the package.json file, we have included a dependency for the Express library, since we are building this Node.js application using the Express framework. And also to start up the application, we have configured a start command pointing to the app.js file, which is located in here. If we take a look at the code in the app.js file, so from this line we are importing the Express library, and then we are creating an Express application, and then we are configuring the port. So if a port is configured as an environment variable, then we will take it as the port, otherwise we will default to port 80. And within this particular Node.js API, we have 3 endpoints. The first one is the default endpoint, and that will return the message from my node app to the caller. And you have the second endpoint, which is the /health endpoint. That method will return status 200 with the text healthy. And then you have the final endpoint, which is the message endpoint, which is accepting a ID parameter. So from here we are extracting the parameter and constructing a new message and sending the constructed message to the caller. With this line, we are listening to all the incoming requests for this particular port and displaying this message in the application console when the application is running. So let's run the application in the console and see. For that, I'm going to open a new terminal, and I'm going to navigate inside the backend API folder. For that, type cd backend API and hit enter. And since you are inside the backend API folder, type the command npm start. So once you do that, you can see the application is listening on the localhost port 80. So let's navigate to that, and you can see the message from the default route. And similarly, if you go to the health route, you should see the healthy message in that. I'm going to minimize the browser. And since we want to deploy this Node.js application as a containerized application, we have included a Docker file in here. So this Docker file have few statements. So as the first statement, what we are doing is we are downloading the Alpine latest image from the Docker Hub, and then we are installing Node.js and npm, and then we are setting a folder named app as the working directory for this particular container, and then we are copying the package.json file to this working directory, which we have configured in here, and then install the dependencies. And with this line, what we do is we are copying all the other files to the working directory. With this line, we are mapping the host port with the container port, and we have specified the port as port 80. And finally, this start command is used by the container to start the application. And also we have included a docker ignore file and specify the name of the node modules, since we don't want the node modules to be pushed as part of the Docker image. So that's all we have in this Node.js API. So let's take a look at the backend API CDK folder. The backend API CDK folder contains all the code required to create or provision your infrastructure as a CDK application. So in order to initialize a CDK application, what you need to do is open a terminal, go inside that particular folder. So for that, I will use cd backend API CDK, and you need to run the command CDK init app as the app name, and then you have to specify the language. So what this command will do is, this command will initialize a CDK application for you to write your code to provision the infrastructure. So for this demo, we will use TypeScript. So I'm specifying the language as TypeScript, but if you want to use C#, then you can do it like this, specifying the C# as the language. Similarly, if you want to use Python, then you can do it like this. So for this demo, we'll use TypeScript. And hit enter. Once you do that, you will see most of these files getting created for you. So once the CDK is initialized, then it's time for you to provision your infrastructure using the CDK code. So for that, I have selected the folder and created a new file and named it as Fargate Stack TS. So you have few dependencies. So these are the high-level constructs that the CDK supports us to build or to provision our infrastructure. So we have the AWS CDK core, EC2, ECS, and the ECS patterns constructs. So the first thing you should do is you need to install these dependencies. So for that, you need to open a terminal and type the command npm install, and you need to specify these packages. So you have to specify it without the quotes. Just remove the quotation marks, and then I'm going to include the other dependencies as well. And use the --save to save the dependencies and hit enter. So once you do that, all these dependencies will get installed. So let me walk you through the code. So these are the high-level constructs that we are using for this particular application to build our infrastructure. And in here we have created a class named Fargate Stack, and we are extending that from the root construct stack. So this particular root construct we got from importing this CDK core library. And then we are defining our VPC. So simply we are specifying this construct here and naming the VPC as my VPC, and we are passing few parameters. So I have passed max AZs as 2 and NAT gateway as 1. The max AZ stands for max availability zones. So by specifying 2, what we are telling this VPC is we are telling it to provision a VPC which supports 2 availability zones. And then we have the NAT gateway specified as 1. So once our container is deployed to the private subnet, it cannot communicate with the internet to download the images. Since we want our containers to communicate with the internet to download the images, so we need to have a NAT gateway. So that is what we have specified in here. And then you define your Fargate cluster. So basically we use this construct ECS and using the cluster method and passing the cluster name as my cluster. And from this line, what we are telling this is I want this particular cluster to be created inside this VPC. So with this particular lines, what you are doing is you are using the ECS patterns construct imported from here and defining your Fargate service. And we are naming this Fargate service as backend service, and we are setting the cluster here. By setting the cluster here, what we are telling this is we want this particular service to be created inside this particular cluster. And then you specify the memory and CPU limits for your tasks. And then you have the desired counts. So since I want to have 2 tasks running inside this service at any given time, so I will specify the desired count as 2. And then you have the task image options. you can see I'm specifying the path to the backend API, which is this folder. Since we have specified this particular path, this will go inside this folder and look for a Docker file, and based on the instructions specified here, it will build an image and push that to the Elastic Container Registry or ECR. And this is how you can specify any environment variables you want for your containers. Of course, if you want to secure sensitive information or any credentials, so you can use the AWS Secrets Manager to have these values. And then you configure the health route for the ECS cluster. So we are specifying the health route we created in the earlier step. And finally, with this line, what we do is we are outputting the load balancer DNS information, and also we are exporting the LB URL. So this information can be seen in the AWS as well once this is deployed. So once that is done, what you need to do is go inside the lib folder and use the Fargate stack in here. So basically we have created our Fargate stack with this particular class name. Just copy that, go inside this particular folder, and you can use it. Of course, you need to import the particular file in order to use it. And then as the parameters, we have basically passed the scope, ID, and props. So once that is done, the last thing you need to do is go inside the bin folder, and I have specified my AWS account and the region. So that's all in terms of configurations. So I'm going to close all these windows and collapse these, and going to open a new terminal. Then I'm going to navigate inside the backend API CDK folder. For that, I'm typing cd backend API CDK and hit enter. And now we are inside this particular folder. So as we have created the Fargate stack using the TS, as you can see, it's .ts. So we need to convert this to JavaScript. For that, run the command npm run watch. So what in few minutes you will see some JavaScript files getting created. Yeah, as you can see, these are the generated files, and you have no errors. Yeah, no errors. So I'm going to clear the terminal. Simply type the command cdk ls and hit enter. So if there are any errors in your CDK code, it will show the errors down here. Otherwise, it will just show the name of the stack. As you can see, there are no errors, so it just returned the stack name. So next step is to build the CloudFormation template from the CDK code. So for that, type the command cdk synth. This will create the CloudFormation template based on your stack definitions. All this code is created for us by the cdk synth command. And also you can see the ALB exports. So the next step would be to push this CloudFormation to the AWS CloudFormation. For that, type the command cdk bootstrap. Hit enter. This will push your CloudFormation to the AWS. Then what we can do is we can deploy our stack to the AWS environment. So type the command cdk deploy and hit enter. As these settings are related to the security, inbound allowing and denying outbound, inbound requests and permissions and information about ports. So this will prompt us and ask us whether we need to proceed. So since it's a demo application, let's go ahead and deploy this. I will type yes and hit enter. As you can see, it's provisioning internet gateways, VPCs, roles, log groups, clusters. It has completed the deployment and it has output the load balancer information. So I'm going to copy the load balancer URL and open a browser and navigate to that. You can see the message from the default route, and similarly if you go to the /health route, you should see the healthy message. Yeah, you can see the healthy message. So I'm going to minimize the browser. See, now I'm in my AWS console in the US East 1 region. So let's search for VPC and click on that. And in there you should see the VPC provision. Go to your VPCs and there you go, you have this my VPC created for us. So you have the CIDRs, flow logs, tags. Okay, let's move into ECS, which is the Elastic Container Service, to see our cluster, ECS cluster and the stack. So as you can see, we have the cluster created, we have a service and 2 tasks running in that. Go click on this link and you go inside, you have the ECS service running, and if you go to tasks, you should see 2 tasks in it. Yeah, you can see 2 entries and the status is running. And similarly you can go to ECR, which is the Elastic Container Registry, to see the image which is used by this application. So this is the image, and if you go to CloudFormation, you can see your templates. Yeah, these are the templates that is created for you. And another thing is, if you go to load balancers, click on that, so you have the listeners and you have the monitoring stuff in here. Okay, if you go to target groups, you should see 2 IPs into availability zones. Let's check that. Yes, as you can see, you have US East 1A and you have US East 1B, and you have 2 IPs in each. And in here you can see both the targets are healthy. So that's about it. Thank you for watching.